Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. So now you said that you had pursued a couple of business interests there, and one is a store. Tell us the name of your store and where in the Gambia can they find it?
The name of the store is called Waste Not, Want Not. It's in Senegambia. And it's weird because it's they don't have like street names. It's like you have
No
to drop
addresses
like
whatsoever.
yeah, you gotta do like landmarks. So it's like it's after the village and before it's in between like Hyperlink and the village in between there. We're across from a new hotel that's building. But the Gambia is so small, if you say that, people will find you.
If you say between Hyperlink, most people know where Hyperlink is, between Hyperlink and the village, they should be able to find it. And you were telling us that are you selling things for Repats or Gambians or both?
Our stuff is Gambian prices. But the Repat's been coming in our store, the Gambian's been coming in our store because we have American products, American clothes. And it's we try to make sure, we have new items. We have like a high-end thrifting, designer clothing. So when people come in the store, they're pleasantly surprised. And I know some of the Gambian women who came in our store because we were asking for feedback, and they're repeat shoppers, and they told us what they like about our store is that we have things that you can't find there in the Gambia.
So it's not just clothing and shoes, there are other products as
We have
well?
clothing, we have shoes, we have gourmet food items, we have makeup.
American. So that's American gourmet food items, right?
Yeah, different kinds of olive oil, different kind of olive oils, and coffees, and seasonings. So a lot of the repats, they go right to our food shelf because they're like, wait a minute. They see all the seasonings that they haven't been able to get in the Gambia that are just not just the Americans, but the Europeans as well, because they see a lot of the seasonings that you just can't get in the Gambia because they have different seasonings that we use, like children's clothing, men's clothing, lingerie, household items, things that that a lot of Americans and repats are accustomed to getting, and they don't have. So right now I'm in the process of we're trying to figure out this back and forth between here and there.
I think with the Gambia, that's a bit more of a challenge than other countries. I have been interested in shipping things either one way and or the other. And at one point was like, maybe I'll have somebody drive it to Senegal and ship it from there because it can be very difficult. But as with everything else in the Gambia, once you figure it out and meet the right people and know who to go to, it'll be okay. But it can be a challenge, I think, at the outset.
Yeah, that's the challenge we're working through right now, just making sure we get our items to come over there, and shipping companies, because unfortunately we've had some incidents with the shipping companies where people took our stuff.
The company never delivered it to the port in Gambia?
No, it was delivered, but maybe someone there.
There you go. Someone there swiped it and your partner never got to claim the items, right? Because recently I heard a story that the port officials were charging so much extra to get items that it became unworth it. It exceeded the value of what the people were actually trying to get. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about that issue in the Gambia. I think it's something that they're going to have to work through.
The whole thing of coming in and out of the country, whether it's products or people, those people who are at those those gateways of either receiving or sending off products and people, they're using it as a way of making extra income because the cost of living there, the living wage is so low in that country.
Well, I've been to other countries in East and Southern Africa that are impoverished as well. And I think that there are some issues of, you know, I remember in Tanzania, the guy in the airport said to me, come on, don't you have something for me so I can have a nice weekend? You know, like, why is that my issue? You know, but I mean, so it definitely happens throughout the continent, but I think that perhaps in the Gambia, they're not realizing the impact they're having on their country and its ability to, you know, roll, because word is starting to get around that these are the kinds of problems you're going to have going into and coming out, sending things in and sending them out, but nothing is irreparable. So, you know, people start talking about it, people start looking for fixes, work around businesses, whatever. I'm hoping that given some time, that will sort of work itself out because
Right.
there needs to be a fix of some sort.
Right. 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 I agree. I agree.
So that was your first time there, and already you're a co-owner of one business, and you said you're looking into another. Is that something at a stage that you want to talk about or reveal that later?
Not yet. That's for later on, but I am
Okay.
in partnership with someone else on a project that I'm working on in the Gambia. It was a lot that was going on because while I was there, I really couldn't handle things the way I needed to because I was new to how communication works. Like when I first got there, like I said, I've been in other countries and I had my phone, and I did the international plan and I was thinking Wi-Fi. I could not talk to anyone. I could not make plans. I couldn't travel. I couldn't get around until I actually got my Gambian phone turned on and actually got my Wi-Fi. And then once I got my Wi-Fi and I had my Gambian phone, the whole world, Gambia opened up to me. I was able to make connections, meet with people, make plans, travel. And I was like, that was so important. That was like my lifeline.
The good thing about the Gambia, though, one good thing about it is the relative low cost of things. You can get a Gambian phone for like $9 or something. You know, it's really not the kind of investment that we're used to here. So that's
well, I brought one of my phones with me. I brought one of my
phone and it worked for you.
Yeah, I brought an unlocked phone, and it was so funny. The phone is so old and so antiquated, but everybody in the Gambia was like, "I like that phone. I like that phone." I was like,
a lot of them have flip phones.
Have flip phone. So my old antiquated Android phone, they really thought it was a nice phone, but I was like, this phone is really bad. But I guess in the Gambia, it's considered nice. Yeah.
One thing about the Gambians, when you're not dealing with folks who are trying to, let's call it, put a premium on things, the everyday people that you encounter in town, out in the villages, are really nice. I mean, that was my
Very
experience.
nice. Very nice. And it's like the simplest thing that you do, you don't even realize that it's a blessing to them. Like I had a sister do my hair there, and she gave me some nice braids. They were bomb. They were beautiful, and they lasted the whole time that I was there, which was amazing. She just did my own natural hair, and I was so happy because I was hot, and it just cooled me off with wearing the head covering. So I was like, well, let me just pay her. So I was like, well, I will pay her what I would pay someone here for something like that. On the low end, I said I'm gonna pay her on the low end because I'm cheap. I'm cheap here, even in America. I don't like paying for my hair. So I'll try to go to the cheapest person I can find to do my hair. So I paid her what I would pay someone here to do my hair. But in Gambian dollars,
You pay somebody tens of thousands of Dalasi for doing your hair? Because 1,000 Dalasi is $20. And so to even get close to what you would pay here, you're talking thousands of Dalasi.
Right. So I paid her what I would pay someone here, but in Dalasi. Um, because I just, I wanted to show her the appreciation, and she was shocked. And what I found out the next day, she was like, she didn't have any money. And I was like, well, what you do with your money? I just gave you some money. She went and took care of her daughters, her two daughters, school fees and everything that she needed for the month. And I was like, when it hit me, I was like, wow. I was like, that really hit me. I was like, just something as simple as paying someone, that little bit, what I thought was a little bit of money, did a lot for her. Okay, so this made me think like, okay, us opening up businesses, having higher, like, no, I can't do like American salary in the Gambia because we couldn't survive like that, especially if we do everything on Gambian prices. But to pay a comparable salary for the Gambia where it will help someone, I was like, okay. And then, those extras, if we have repats come in and help them pay, do extras, I'm like, if we can do more of that, because that little bit of money did so much for her, and I was just like, okay, I felt good about that. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to hire people to do things that I can't do, whether it's wash my laundry or do my hair or, little extras that I like. And if they have the skills to do it, why not?
I think that most repats do that, whereas here I get somebody to clean my house too before COVID, but some things that we don't do here, most people do there. They have somebody do the laundry, clean the house, do their hair, mani-pedi, that sort of thing. One, to help the Gambians, and two, because your money just goes so much farther there. So it's a win-win. It really is.
Yeah.
And helping them,
Yeah.
and getting some luxury for yourself that you may or may not routinely get here. And I think I've never been to Ghana, but that was one of the first things that I would always hear about Ghana. Everybody has a houseboy. What do you mean? We don't have any houseboys here.
Yeah. My compound in Ethiopia, we had someone who washed our clothes, someone who cooked, someone that, it was somebody who swept the yard. I would get all my children's clothes, give them to them. They would wash everything, and that was it. If they took anything, I didn't know, and I really didn't care. But, they washed everything.
Even like when I was in Zambia in Southern Africa, we had a driver. I know you had a driver in the Gambia. I don't have any driver here. My driver is hello, sitting right here.
Look, I'm the driver. Okay, my driver was infatuated with the fact that I was a driver here. He said, "You mean you do what I do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do what you do." And he said, "You mean you drive people around?" And I was like, "Yeah." He said, "I want to see your car." I was like,
did you have a picture to show him?
I did.
Oh, good.
I did.
Yeah. So that is one thing that's really nice about being in the continent, is that ability to get some services that we don't necessarily get here and help them.
Right.
At the same time, because they need that for the economy. So your repatriation, how do you see that playing out for you in terms of being able to go back on a more, I know you are saying that you want to come back and forth, but on a more permanent basis?
Yeah, well, I gave myself a 5-year plan, and that's what I'm sticking with.
Okay.
And it seems to be working with that. I would like to make it shorter than 5 years. And that's only because I don't have like any retirement account. I don't have like pensions or none of that. I've been a self-employed person mostly, private industry. So my money is different. And so I want to make sure when I do go over there, I have like some businesses in place. I'm not looking to live lavishly, and I would like to build where I can come back and forth. So when I want to come back, make some money in America, come back and then go back to the Gambia. But I would like once I get to the Gambia to have a stationary place, because my goal is really not so much just to stay in the Gambia. I would like to travel to other countries on the continent as well and travel between those countries. So right now, what I'm looking at Gambia as is my base. And so I want to make sure I create a good foundation while I'm there. Now, you know, I'm hoping I was supposed to have gone back already. So I'm hoping I'll be able to go back in a couple of months. You know, I had some things that happened here in America that kind of derailed my plans, but that happens.
It
But
does.
yeah, it happens. So, you know, right now I'm looking to go there, and I would like to probably try to do more, try to get from a brick and mortar location that I'm doing right now in accounting, and try to do more online work, which is something that I'm looking into now, which might free up, you know, my travel, where I can probably stay in Gambia longer versus, you know, staying in America longer. Now, the one only other thing I want people to also be aware of is when you're exiting the Gambia. With the COVID test leaving out, you have to have a special number. Well, because you have to get that number, and Gambia is a cash only country, and it's a lot of corruption there, you know, unfortunately. You have to, it's the way I've seen it, it's virtually impossible to get your COVID test in under 24 hours there. That's why I had to take the test twice. Well, they will not give you your number before you pay first. So you have to go to the bank and pay for it first and get that receipt. And with the bank, there was some, you know, some issues, and I think everybody was in on it. Basically, they told me I could either pay to go in and jump in front of the line, or sit outside and wait in the line. And what happened was I opted not to pay, and I waited outside, and I saw everybody paying, going in. So we were just sitting outside for hours while people was going in front of us, going into the bank. So when I went into the bank, you know, I saw, and I was like, everybody was basically in on it at the bank. But I did address it, and they were just like, oh no, we don't do like this. We don't, you know, so I was like, okay, whatever. So the testing sites close at 1 p.m. If you don't get there before 1 p.m., then you're gonna have to go to the COVID testing site, where they actually give the test, and they will not help you. It's like everyone wants to get paid to assist you, right?
Okay.
And I just, you know, I think it's that American me. I just have a problem with corruption and being bribed. And so with that being said, you know, it was like a lot of things that I've seen. You know, the COVID testing site is not the most sanitary place that I've been to, but you know, after it was all said and done, I got my number, I got my test.
You said that the testing site is not very sanitary. When I was getting those tests, the World Health Organization was doing it. And so they were wearing the full white suits. Everything was sealed. They were opening it up. That didn't happen when you went?
No.
Oh my God.
I took videos of it, and it was appalling. A whole treatment. That's the only word I can say is it was appalling. Once I took the test on Wednesday, the results came back on Thursday, right? So I had to, you know, check in. And then when I went to the airport on Friday, when they checked my results, so they were like, oh, your results are not good. You're not vaccinated. You have to have it under 24 hours. So then I had to go to the testing site in the airport, show them my vaccination number. They had to pull up my number, had to pay for the test again. So I had to pay for the test twice. They gave me the test, and then they updated my paperwork so that it had the under 24-hour date and time on it.
And, you know, I think that happened to me as well. Mine happened because my flight, that's what I was saying, that Brussels to Banjul, they had canceled my flight with no notice. And so that threw everything off. But I had some similar situation. I mean, I don't know. We don't want to discourage anyone. The Gambia is a beautiful place.
If you're not aware of the arrival and the exit, and you get caught up in the mayhem, it could ruin your entire trip. Because I'm telling you, when I came back from the testing site, I was all flustered because I had a grand opening. I couldn't even enjoy my grand opening. Even when I was at the airport and I was putting my bags on the scale, the guy was kept telling me, he said, your bag is over. I don't know, something like 1 kilo or something like that. He was like, your bag is over. And he didn't know I had Gambians with me, right? That brought me. And he was saying, what are you gonna do about it? And I was like, and I was confused at first. I didn't catch on that he wanted me to pay him to let my
Oh, but
bags
what are
through
you gonna do about it,
and
right?
do. Yeah, so he kept saying, he kept going, he said, look, it's 1 kilo over. And I said, oh, I could, and me, duh. I was like, oh, I can take some stuff out. And I started opening it up and trying to pull stuff. He's like, no, what are you gonna do about it? I was like, I can take some stuff out. I got my friends here. I can give it to them. He was like, no, what you gonna do about it? And I was like, and
I
I
just
started, oh, he's like,
told
no,
you what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna do. I said, yeah, I said, my friends are right there. I can give them. And then he was like, never mind, just, and then that's when it clicked. I was like, oh,
He
because
wanted
he
you to
realized I
help
had,
them have a nice weekend like that guy in Tanzania.
yeah, but because he realized I had people there, it wasn't worth. He was like, just let it go.
It's important to know about coming in and going out. It is also, folks, important to know about the practice of trying to charge you a non-Gambian price. And the way to address that is to shop around. So like when we would go to those markets, the produce markets, you know, they're always like 4, 8, 9 all lined up. And I would just walk in, one, ask for prices, walk out, walk in the next, ask for price. So you start to get to know what the prices are, what they
But
should
they
be.
like the bartering too. They expect you to barter.
I barter, but the produce, it's like 50 Dalasi for a kilo of potatoes. There are some standard prices that you can expect.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I will go in and out, find out who's going to do that, and then go from there. But I wouldn't just buy from the first person because they are going to overcharge you. And even though my skin is browner, everything about me reads American, American. So I'm going to be lumped right into that too. And so that's another thing to know in advance. But once you have your mindset adjusted to deal with those things, it can be, a very beautiful experience because it's so much more peaceful there. This is my opinion. Because it's undeveloped, there is less of the monitoring and control. What really is not control, but it's monitoring that we get in the United States, which for people like me is a bit annoying. So I love a cash society. I pull the money out, I give it to you, I go about my business. There's no transaction, no record, what I bought, when I bought it, how. I love
monitoring. We're in Big Brother here. They know all your transactions. They can determine what your motives are by what you buy, why you buy rope, why you buy a shovel, why you buy.
Well, they think they can, but I still shop with money. I still shop with money when I go to stores and they say, if you don't have exact change, whatever, I pretty much have exact change. I'm not saying that I never use a bank card because we do, but I also will whip out my dollar bills on you in a minute because everything not even because I'm a lawyer, I'm an officer of the court. I'm not doing anything, but it's just the idea that I'm not wearing a Fitbit. You're not gonna know every sleep, everything I do, it goes against everything I am. And so for me, that was really nice in the Gambia that I was somewhere for an entire month. The only people that had my name was the cell phone company, because you do have to kind of pony up some information there. That's it. That's it. I mean, I love that about that country, I did. So do you have any parting words about the Gambia or repatriation or anything else you want to share with the Raising the Vibe family, sis?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, if you plan on visiting the Gambia, just be aware that there are some things that you may see that you may not like, but overall, the Gambia is a very beautiful country. It reminds me of like Jamaica, even though it's a predominantly Muslim country. It also has a very deep, rootical, like Rasta vibrations where they're
A
very in tune
lot
to
of Rastas.
nature.
They play a
Yeah.
lot of reggae music. I know you didn't go clubbing a lot, but I like to do everything. And they have a lot of
Mhm.
reggae in the clubs there. Um, and with regard to the Muslims, something that stood out to me as a non-Muslim, they announced that prayer call throughout the country. So you can be in
Right.
Seracunda Market and you're gonna know it's time to pray. And you can be driving anywhere and you look over and there's a whole group of men with their cloths and they're praying. So you see that all day long. It's in the fabric of the
Yeah,
country.
it's definitely in the fabric. So as a Muslima, I really appreciate it. As a person, who tried at Rastafari for over 20 something years, I can appreciate that side of the aspect. The food, my body instantly started healing itself. I was, the aches and pains of my knees were just disappeared. The swelling in my body disappeared. My high blood pressure went down. So my body naturally started attuning itself. So that's one of the things you'll start seeing, all that vitamin D from the sun, all the fresh air, no pollution, the walking was very, very, instrumental. I could feel my health just rejuvenate. I started feeling younger.
That's
Um, you know,
important. That's
it,
phenomenal.
yeah, it was phenomenal. And it's some things in there that you have to get accustomed to that you may not like. Like you gotta constantly look out for animals, defecation all over the road
Sure
because
do.
you got
And
you got
goats will be
yeah,
following you down the street, girl. I was like,
street,
ah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
cows, the goats, all the animals.
One thing that I would say that I'm going to bring up that is a little controversial, which I never had to deal much with on either of my trips there in 2021, is sex tourism. And that's why that's at the bottom of what you're talking about with most of the Black people getting off in Senegal and most of the Europeans going on to the Gambia. But because when I went there, COVID was really preventing so much tourism. There wasn't, there just weren't a lot of Europeans there when I went there, and I didn't see a lot of it. Now I heard that after I left, things had opened up and they were starting to come again.
Honestly, like I said, I've only been to 2 African countries, but I have never seen this many Europeans in a country before. I was shocked at the amount of Europeans that was in the Gambia. Like you couldn't go 5 minutes without seeing one walking down the street. You
Oh,
saw a lot of a lot of geriatrics with very young people that look like they could be like their grandchildren's age.
and it's men
Um,
and women.
and
Mhm.
and it was not only the blacks, I mean the whites, but it was blacks there too doing the same thing,
I didn't see.
older people with younger people. One of the things that I also noticed is that certain behavior that wouldn't be tolerated here, I was seeing displayed there. You will see a man with his butt crack out sitting in a restaurant, no shirt, just they would display certain behavior that would not be acceptable here. They was displaying it there.
Be
Be
acceptable in
acceptable.
the UK where they're coming from either primarily.
Exactly. So that was one of the things that was like, well, why are you all allowing these people to come in the restaurant with no clothes on? I said, I don't even, because they would call me in like, come eat. I said, why would I want to eat in there? Look what y'all got sitting in there. I said, these people got no clothes on. I don't want to sit in there. And they would look at me like, what? I said, you shouldn't accept anything from them. And that's what happened. They bring a lot of bad behavior there, white and black. I can't just say it's the white people. I saw all different um races doing it.
I think that if I were to go back this year, it would probably feel like a different experience because of that. I'm not, I saw a little bit of it at the beaches, at the bigger beach hotels. I saw a few of the geriatric Caucasians, both male and female. I didn't see Black people doing that, but I think that would make the experience different.
Yeah.
We loved having you here. I'm sure that my
Thank you
audience.
for having me.
Oh, you are so welcome. You have informed us. We're going to be rooting for your business ventures and for your repatriation journey. And again, I'll be dropping your contact information in the description box so people can follow your journey.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. I always enjoy talking to you, and I always enjoy talking about Africa. Only thing I have to say is, when you're repatriating, it's definitely a journey. It's going to be obstacles that come in your way, and just if that's what you want, don't let it discourage you. Just take that obstacle and come up with another plan and redirect it, because when you go to Africa, you're going to come up with against obstacles. So this is just the first process of it. But it's worth it. It's worth it because there's more pluses than there are minuses.
That's the perfect way to end it. Thank you, sis. Have a blessed night. And of course, I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one. Good night.
Good night. As always, family, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you really enjoyed the video, that you found it entertaining, and also learned a lot of useful information about traveling to the Gambia in particular, and to Africa in general. I look forward to seeing you at the next video. And until then, peace and love and light.